Hey, folks, welcome back to the Sam Houston Sports Talk podcast. Collin Luke Scott here. Joining us, the esteemed special guest that we've been hyping over the past week. You know who it is. It's head coach for Sam Houston men's basketball, Chris Mudge. Coach, so glad for you to join us. Like I said, one thing included, I mean, you said it, but just before we began recording, basketball season is closer than most people think. I mean, we're a little over a week out, but thank you for taking the time, especially during this time where I know it can be busy.
For sure. I think esteemed is quite a bit higher of a word than it needs to be. The just a guy on here, but it's a great time of year. I mean, we get to do the thing that we love to do, and everybody's practicing right now, and we don't do this for the practice. We get to go play somebody else and compete, and so I'm excited. I'm excited not just for us, but I love watching college basketball. I love seeing my buddies, seeing other teams, and it's coming up fast.
Coach, just to kind of start off, I just had the exhibition match there against Prairie View, and then you also had the golf fundraiser. Just kind of go through those two things and kind of how the off season has treated not just you, but the entire program.
Our off season's been awesome. We've really been able to get great people in here. It started with recruiting and getting the right guys and retaining the right guys, and I think we have a really good group of young men. I don't know what that's going to turn into in terms of wins and losses, but we've got a great group. They work hard. They're about the right things. They fit what Sam Houston is about. And so this offseason was just about getting that group to get closer together and to learn what it means to be here and um, figure out how to coach them and lead them and all those things. And, kind of started with culminating in playing Prairie View, which Prairie View's got a really good team. They got a bunch of guards that can really score the basketball and a lot of familiar faces just from recruiting in Texas, or we've played against them or things like that. And, Coach Smith over there does a phenomenal job. And it was good for us. It was kind of a funky matchup. They play a lot of guards. They play five guards, and we have some size. And so it was great for us to see that. And although it was pretty early in practice, so you could watch and see all the mistakes and see the things that we weren't ready for, and that is okay. That's totally fine because we're trying to get ready to win November 4th. And on that day, it was about effort, it was about intensity, and it also was about just trying to go out and uh, assert our identity. And I think at times we did that, but there were stretches where we got away from it. We got away from our discipline. We got away from our toughness. We got away from our execution. And it was a great learning experience for us to go watch film and be able to get a renewed sense of focus in practice. I mean, our practices since then have been an even higher level just because the guys get it. They see it. The things that we talk about and emphasize and hold them accountable for are the things that make you go on bad stretches in games. And I know we say that, and it's just like a kid touching, the hot stove. There until sometimes you do it, guys don't realize how important not throwing one hand passes is. And it's just little things, communicating early, whatever it is. So I thought it was great for us. There was a great crowd. I mean, gosh, we had a lot of people there watching. And I think that was really good to help get the guys nerves out of wearing the uniforms, going out playing in front of people, had bands that were super loud, and it was a really cool experience, and I think is going to help us be a lot better. Oh, and then the golf tournament. Oh man, we are so lucky the support we have from fans and boosters in the community. Our golf tournament almost doubled in size, and the people had a ton of fun. We had an auction with some really generous, cool people that came, and we're able to raise some money to support our program and our players, and couldn't be more thankful of everybody that put it together. Because gosh, it's a lot of logistics and a lot of work, and we had a really good time. It was a fun night.
Were you able to work on your game a little bit?
My game is awful. I dressed like a golfer and then proceeded to fake out everybody and not play so that I didn't embarrass myself. I love playing, but I have three kids and a pretty busy job, so I don't really get to practice very
Yeah.
much.
I mean, what would you say in the phases of golf? Which one would you say that you're very confident in, more or at least more confident than the others?
Um, my irons are pretty solid. I can iron. Driver is inconsistent to say the least. And
Yeah.
then putting is an absolute disaster. I mean, like an abomination. If I'm on the green, I should just give myself a gimme and move on. And
But
uh,
that's like every golfer ever.
Yeah.
oh gosh, it's pretty bad, pretty
Yeah.
bad.
Well,
Even putt, I'm not the best in my family, and that's really bad when you don't have that.
yeah, yeah. Well, you kind of mentioned them already, the recruiting class. I kind of wanted to hear more about them. It's headlined by guys like Eric Taylor, Jackson Ford, and some other guys. Just kind of what do you think about the guys that, or not? What do you think? What do you see out of the guys that you brought in, the recruits?
Gosh, I love our class, and it's always funny because you like them when you sign them, and then when you get them on campus, sometimes they're different or than what you thought. And I think we hit on all of them in a positive way. And obviously you mentioned a couple of our freshmen. Eric is really talented and can put the ball in the basket, and he's learning day by day. I really like him. I think he's going to be a really good player. Jackson Ford has been phenomenal because he just does a couple things really, really, really well. And he does it with incredible effort and intensity. And he has been really good for us. Shek Injai is a freshman that you guys won't hear about much this year because he broke his hand. But gosh, his future is going to be tremendous. He's going to be a really good player here. And he's an unbelievable kid. All three of those kids are. But Shek's a really fun kid, lots of positive energy. And he's good, skilled, tall, athletic moves. Just had an unfortunate, just fell on his hand the wrong way the last day of summer workouts. And I feel bad for him. But all three of those guys in the freshman class that we signed are really good and talented and Conference USA level players. And then out of the portal, I think we hit on all the guys. I think our depth is one of our strengths. And I think that as long as we can continue our chemistry and our camaraderie and everybody on the same page, I think it can be a huge uh, advantage for us because we have a lot of good players over there. And now we have to do something with it and they have to come together and we have to be able to execute. But I really like what we've got and we got a long ways to go. But I think we did well. We recruited our kind of guys and guys that fit Sam Houston.
Coach, in college basketball, I mean, you talked about the transfer portal. It's just kind of the revolving door. But this year's a little different with Samson because you return a lot of seniors, and those guys in the transfer portal, a lot of them are seniors too. Um, how big is it to have that kind of experience and leadership coming into Conference USA? And it's just your second season as the head coach.
The old adage of you need to be old, there's a lot of reasons why that's positive. And I think more importantly is you need to be old in your program. We've had guys that have been in our program 3, 4, and sometimes 5 years. And it's incredible um, the knowledge they have about what it takes day to day, the knowledge about what it means to get a scout ready, what it means to organize their life. And even the seniors we have, now we have a lot of seniors, we have 8 of them, which is really good because they've all played a lot of college basketball, which is such a positive thing because they've just been through the grind of it and they understand what it's like. Um, but even some of our seniors that are transfers are learning, all right, what does it take every day here? What do I have to do to be able to get through the practices and get better? What is coach looking for? What does he like? What does he not like? What does a scout look like? And we don't do anything necessarily better than other places. We're just different. And so they're kind of learning, whereas our guys like Key and Dame, Cam Marcus, that have been here, um, man, they're able to just hop right in. It's just second nature for them. And so I think being old, which we are, is a positive thing from an experience perspective. And when we can get all the new guys up to speed with how we do things, I think it's going to gel pretty nicely.
Coach Mudge joining us here on Sam Houston Sports Talk. Coach, one of the big storylines in the offseason was Lamar Wilkerson, but y'all were able to retain him. Just talk about how big it is for you, again, going into your second year as a head coach, not only to retain his experience, but his scoring ability.
I've been so blessed, in both years, first year before I got the job and then this year to retain 6 guys each year. And I don't take for granted how lucky I am and how appreciative I am of those guys who decided that they wanted to stay a part of Sam Houston and they believed in us and the way we do things in here, and then at least a little bit in me. And that has been something that I can't put into numbers, how important that is. And, all those guys, all those guys that came back, we had 6 of them. They all are a huge part of what we're doing. And their leadership in the summer of teaching these new guys what it takes is invaluable. And the player-led teams are so much better than coach-led teams. And those guys took the reins and like, man, it's our program and you're a part of our family. Let's do it like this. And that's been really cool. I mean, obviously, Marcus, Cam, Kean, Damon, CJ, I mean, all those guys are huge pieces as well and bring some very valuable winning traits. And Lamar is a guy like that also. He obviously is a very good player, first team all league guy. And I appreciate that he came back. And in this portal world, if you don't have players that are good enough to be looked at for the portal, you're probably not good enough. And so, he got in and to his credit and the other guy's credit, it was an open conversation about like, all right, what's best for you? What is the right situation? What are you looking for? And, Lamar came in and we talked about it a lot and he got out there and decided this was the best place for him to set up his future. And I'm very appreciative of him and all the other guys and do my part every day or try to do my part every day to follow through on all that stuff, to make it that environment that makes them be their best, not just here, but set up their future, set up their, get them a degree, get them to go play pro, get them to do all the things to set up a 40-year success rate, not just, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year thing. And so getting all those guys back was huge and is going to allow us to be more competitive early because those guys just know it. And, it's funny, and we put in a scout a little bit yesterday for our scrimmage this weekend. And like normal, like happens every single year, our returners just are able to really flow so easily and take in information and apply it the way that we want to. And that's part of the learning curve that our new guys are going through is how do I take all this incredible amount of information and the scouts and then what we do and what our identity is, put it all together and do it at game speed. And that's hard. And so having those guys as the example, not just verbally of telling guys what to do and helping them learn, but also showing like this is what it looks like is an incredible advantage that we have. And those guys give it to us. And I appreciate them for that.
Coach, kind of a two-part question here. You've talked about here in the past about how good the Conference USA is, and just kind of how all the teams have gotten better in the offseason. And you've also kind of talked about Conference USA being a destination conference, meaning a conference that guys can really go to and showcase what they're about. Whereas in previous conferences that we've been in, not to shame the Southland or the WAC, hasn't had that kind of glow or that glam that Conference USA has. Kind of talk about just kind of the growth of the conference and kind of how you recruit and not just the high school, but in the transfer portal, using the conference in that way.
I think that people around the country know how good Conference USA is because for years, the teams in it have been successful and go win big games, beat big teams, get in the tournament, win games. And I think that it's like it's a brand. And I think we've seen that in recruiting, that the move has allowed us to get indoors that we couldn't before, just because people know how good the league is. They see where we're ranked every single year as a conference in the net ratings and Ken Palm and those things, and as one of the best mid-major plus conferences in the country. And then they also are able to see the success of, the guys in our league that have gone to play in the NBA, gone to play in the highest levels of Europe, gone to even transfer up to really good schools. Because as in the portal world, that's one way that guys are able to capitalize. And our league has been a great place for all those things. And there's examples of it. We're not trying to sell something that isn't there. And it's been something that we've been able to sell and kids have latched onto and then have been able to come here and have the same kind of success. And that's been a fun thing to see. And I think part of the reason you look around the conference and some of the best players in the league stayed, whereas they had options to go to another place to do whatever, because they see that it's a high level of basketball that is seen around the country. We play against other very good teams that have national rankings and national names. And if you're good at this level, you're going to be seen by everyone in the world. Scouts, pro teams, it doesn't really matter. And guys are seeing that and seeing that if they're able to be one of the productive guys at our level, man, it opens up a lot of doors. And um, I love the fact that some of the best players in the league came back for the state of college basketball. Selfishly, I hate that some of the other best players came back, the Bachos and Justin Porter, and, those guys that are phenomenal all league level guys that we got to play against them. But I think for college basketball, that's a good thing. I think that there is an equilibrium that will come with this portal, and there's going to be some people understanding that sometimes it's great to go up, to go down, to stay the same, and finding that instead of the grass is always greener. I think we're seeing that. This year, the league is going to be incredible. I mean, we had a great league last year. It's going to be better this year. I mean, you look around the league, and I think everybody got better, and I hope that we did too. I think we did. Um, but you look around these historically phenomenal programs all went and got better. I mean, New Mexico State got better. Liberty got better. La Tech went and got better. Middle Tennessee got better. Florida International got better. UTEP got better. If I'm leaving somebody out, I don't mean to, but I mean, what they did in the portal because of the history of the winning that these programs have, the history of the coaches. I mean, these coaches are Hall of Fame level coaches. I mean, Coach Harper has won like 700 games. Coach McKay is not far behind him. I mean, you look around, there's a lot to sell in the league. And I think you're going to see a um, very balanced league with a lot of parity and a bunch of really good close games. I think like last year you saw there weren't many blowouts in Conference USA, and home teams had an incredible winning percentage at home. And I think that shows how balanced the league was. And I think it's going to be that way again with an even higher level of play. So it's going to be fun to watch and going to be really tough. It'll be really tough. And there's a big target on our back, as there is when you are the defending champion. And we're going to have to raise our level to take everybody's best game.
Before y'all even, go into Conference USA play, the non-con schedule y'all put together. I mean, one of my favorite times is like spring, summer when it comes to college basketball because you not only got recruiting the portal going on, but it's also seeing what teams have on their schedules heading into next year. Y'all go to Reno against Nevada. Y'all go to Tarleton, who's a really good program in their own right. Y'all go to Baylor, Lamar, that team's on the rise. Then y'all go up to Wilmington to face three quality teams in App State, UNC Wilmington, Colgate, really, really good program. Then at Indiana, historical basketball place, and then at Pittsburgh. Just what went into building this schedule?
Well, the first thing that was really hard to get games, to people to agree to play us, and not um, that's not a bragging thing at all. But when you come off, we had a good year last year, and it's difficult to find people that want to play. And but I also think that those kind of challenging games gets us ready for the two seasons that matter most. The pre-conference season is one that is important. You want to win as many as you can, but the conference season and then the postseason tournament season are the ones where you want to be playing your best. And I don't think playing cupcakes uh, really helps you get there. And so we're not scared to play anybody. And if somebody good wanted to play, we were all about it because I think that that is a testament to the kind of junkyard mentality that we have of toughness and building that. And we want to go get tested. I mean, we're going to go open at an NCAA tournament team, Nevada. We're going to go there and play at their place first night. And I love it. We're going to get to learn a lot about us that night. And then Tarleton, Coach Gillespie is a Hall of Fame level coach. It's going to be super tough on the road. Then we go to Lamar. Coach Brooks has that thing going the right direction. It's a rivalry game. We were in the same league for an incredible amount of time. Then we go to Baylor, top 10 team in the country. Go to Wilmington, where there are two teams in the NCAA tournament last year, and Wilmington won 20. And, then you go on, Indiana, and be a top 25 team in the country. Pittsburgh's an NCAA tournament team. I think that's also good for us, whether we win or lose. Obviously, I want to win all of them, and we can win all of them, but we're going to go get tested. We're going to have to fight through adversity. We're going to have to be able to do the things that we talk about every day in practice of our discipline and our focus, our sticking together. And if we go win a game by 40 every single night in the non-conference, that doesn't that doesn't help us get better at those things when the bullets are flying and when things are happening. And so I'm really excited about it. I know last year we played a really difficult non-conference schedule also, and we battled through a lot of injuries and adversity last year. And I think once we all got healthy, I think it paid off for us.
Yeah.
We had been tested and a bunch of guys got experience, and we had to fight through some things and expose some weaknesses and figure out how to get them better. And I think, hopefully we can win as many of those games as possible, but I think it's going to get us ready for the times that matter.
Coach, I kind of want to talk just a little bit of style on the court. In previous years, Sam, it's not that we played small ball, but a lot of times, our big was 6'8", 6'9". You've made an active, um, you know, try to get some really big and just huge players in the middle. Kind of talk about kind of this transition that from going from four guard lineups to now a more, 3 and 2.
It kind of started when we moved to the WAC and has obviously been enhanced as we moved up into Conference USA. But the Southland was a very small, athletic, dynamic league. And man, if you had bigs that were big and didn't move great, you just couldn't play them against about half the teams in the league. And I remember we had Mike Holyfield, who obviously went on to play in the NBA. And his first year or two, as he was still developing, there were games like going to play Nichols where they played five guards, Northwest, teams like that. He just couldn't play. No offense, no, nothing that he did wrong, just was a style matchup. So we had to go get kind of the undersized movers at the forward spot. Well, then we're transitioning into the WAC, and the WAC had kind of both. It had some really big teams, and we had to make sure that we had size to be able to match that, while also being able to be versatile and play against the teams that played, dynamic and quick and pressure and those things. And I think that we've translated that over to Conference USA, which is even bigger, even more athletic. And, we've really, like you said, tried to go get size because you can't teach tall. I mean, 6'11" is 6'11". And teams in our league have a bruising forward down there. And so you got to be able to match that to be able to, assert your style and neutralize theirs, because there's some really good bigs in our league. And so we've definitely made it a point and something that's really important, while also having the versatility to be able to play against the teams that play four guards. Liberty played five guards last year, and we're exceptionally good at it. And so we had to be able to have both kinds and play both ways. And I think that, having, those tweener forward guards like Cam Hoofner and, and CJ and Jackson Ford and is incredibly valuable to play both ways. And a guy like Damon Nicholas, who's a guard that we can throw out there, but is physical and tough enough to be able to play with bigger guys, gives us some versatility that we need to play different styles. And I think that's been really good. But like you said, man, it all starts with having some size at that forward spot to be able to, not get pushed around, rebounding, post ups, physicality wise. It's definitely been a focus for us. And I think in recruiting, we've done a good job with it. Sheck is tall and skilled and versatile. And then we have committed a really good big kid who's young. And so I think that's been a focal point for us, because you just can't teach tall. That's what I tell these guys all the time. Let them be tall.
Well, y'all brought in somebody in Khalifa Sako. Just I kind of wanted to hear you just more thoughts on him. Probably y'all's most hyped transfer portal grab that y'all got.
Gosh, Khalifa is so talented, and he's such an amazing young man. And I think we're going to see over the season him just gradually continue to get better. You're going to see more out of him as the year goes on. A little bit like Sule last year, um, had to get in the flow of things, and he was battling a knee injury last year. But you saw by conference, Sule was a difference maker for us and was phenomenal and set himself up to have a great pro career. And Khalifa's athleticism and mobility and length are things that we haven't had in a really long time. And we've had really good forwards, but he just brings a different version of that. And I am super excited for him. He's grown a ton. He's gotten better. He's really rallied around being believed in and loved. And I think over time, we're going to see him just get better over the year, because he does some things in his athleticism and his God-given talent that you just don't get to see almost anywhere. I mean, he can put his nose at the rim and he's 6'11", and he can move, and he's an awesome kid. I think he brings us something super valuable, and I'm excited to see where he gets to by the end of the year as he keeps getting better, because he's a great kid and a worker and incredibly talented.
Coach, I also want to ask about Josiah Hammond's incarnate word transfer. Huge player in the Southland, and now he's here at Sam Houston. Just kind of want to get your thoughts about him and kind of what brought him in and what kind of caught your eye to him.
It's crazy. I was really excited about Joe when he committed, and then he got here and he had to rehab kind of an injury that he had previously. So he missed pretty much all summer and then a little bit of the fall, just trying to get him all the way healthy so that he can be good for the season. And so over the summer, I didn't get to see a whole lot. And then when he got back, he was working his way in. And then just one day, it just clicked for him. And Joe is about all the things that we are about. He does things at a high level that we value. He's super tough. He brings great energy. He loves to play basketball. He's a competitor, and he can really shoot the basketball. And with his experience level, he really knows how to play. He's played in a lot of college basketball games. I love Joe. I think he's going to be really good for us. And I think he's going to be somebody that people are having to account for because he can get a shot off, and he's a winner. As just one thing you can say about him is he's just a winner in life and a winner in basketball, and those guys just do really well here. And so I've loved him and excited to see what he gets to.
Looking at the returning player, Cameron Hoofner has unfortunately with injuries on both shoulders, and it's like, man, he just can't catch a break. He's also dealt with other injuries, but just kind of what role do you see him playing this year? Are you trying to look for him to be more an outside for like where y'all give him positions to shoot more threes, or do y'all still want him to keep on going down in the paint?
I think a little bit of both. Cam is such a good team guy and about all the right things that even through his injuries last year, I mean, he played through a lot of pain and played through difficult time and helped us win a championship. And, this summer he was able to get fully healthy, and it's been cool to see him back at his 100% self, because he's such a good player. And, I think the answer is we're going to have him do everything, because he can do all those things. And it depends on matchups. It depends on time of the game. And because he's gotten even better in all those areas. He's gotten better in his post up, his face up game, his dribbling, his passing, his shooting. Defensively, he's improved. I mean, he's gotten just better. And I think you're going to get to see a lot out of him this year. And I'm excited for that because he deserves it, because he works so hard and he's so selfless and he's about the team. And I don't know if it'll be day one or day 10 or day, 100, but he's going to have a huge impact on our season this year. And I'm excited for everybody to get to see the Cam that we know is in there.
Coach, last 2 years, Sam Houston's season ended on just free throws, and free throws are just one of the things I'll probably never ever coach basketball, at y'all's level, but I imagine just looking on, free throws are just one of those things where you as a coach you can't really control. It's just whatever happens happens. But like I said, 2 years in a row that the season Bearcat season has ended because of missed free throws. Just what have y'all done over the offseason? What have you done as, again, a second year head coach to like make sure that it doesn't happen again, along with just executing the smaller things?
I mean, I felt so bad for our guys last year because we were the best free throw shooting team in the
Yeah.
conference. We shot a great percentage because we do spend a lot of time on it. And it just was one of those games where it just wasn't quite falling. I mean, a lot of our misses at the free throw line were, what you call good misses, and they just were a little bit off. And like you said, even there was a stretch in the second half where we didn't execute. We were up, I think, 14, and so there's some execution pieces, there's some free throw pieces. You go 19 for 35 from the free throw line and lose by two. It's a hard one to swallow, but I know that during the year we did a lot to make us a very good free throw shooting team. And we're going to continue to do that because we play an aggressive style. So we get to the free throw line a decent amount, and those things win and lose games. And so if it wasn't something that we worked on a lot, it would bother me a lot more because I know we have great free throw shooters and they just didn't happen to make them that game. I'd put those same guys up on the line again and I'll bet they're going to make them for us. And I know they will.
Coach, to kind of just end this off, because I know you got to get going on, like we said, a little over a week until the season starts. But just to kind of end it off, Coach, just what is the mindset going to the season? What are some things that you want the people to look out for, and just basically your overall thoughts heading into this new season?
I think fans are going to continue to just get to see an exciting brand of basketball. I mean, we play fast and we have a lot of guys on the court who are skilled and can make shots and play. And we're always going to try to be tough and be physical and play hard with intensity and energy. And I think that people really gravitate to that because they see our guys' passion and love for the game, and it's entertaining. We put out a good show. Whether we win or lose, it's going to be a game that's worth watching. And so I'm just excited to see our team do that against other teams and continue to do that through a difficult schedule and just get better. If we get better every day, then we are controlling what we can control. And by the end of the year, I think something really good will happen. And I don't know what that looks like. Only God knows. But if we can just keep that mindset, let's just get better. Let's get a little bit better. Let's get better. Then, like last year, I think we'll have a chance to be playing meaningful games at the end. And then ball bounces one way, this way or that, and that may change things, but that's all we can control. And I think our guys have done a great job of that.
Coach, I've given nicknames to previous coaches here at Sam Houston, and you have one now.
Oh no, that can't be good.
I gave Coach Hooten gum on the shoe because going up against his teams was like stepping on a gummy shoe. It just sucked. I mean, it was just kind of how it was. You have stuck in the mudge. That's the nickname I gave.
Oh
I
my
gave you last year.
God. I like it. That's pretty good.
So you're going to be seeing that on social media. So just be aware.
I like
I don't know
What's
if
the
Coach
meaning
Hooten
behind it? What does stuck in the mud mean?
stuck in the mud. It is what it is.
Uh,
I don't know if Coach Hooten liked the gum on the shoe. I think he actually hated it.
oh man.
But I'm just giving you the warning.
I like it. I like it. I'll wear that as a badge of honor.
All right.
Well, actually, I since Luke mentioned him, I was kind of curious. That photo that went viral for a little bit. In you and Coach Hooten's first matchup against each other, big game. That one photo that you looking over at him, like just kind of. I'm kind of curious. Like, is it just the fact that you're just reading your opponent, or was there just like I mean, was there any other element to it?
Oh, just trying to win the game. And, a lot of people made that game out to be something huge and personal and those things. Coach Hooten is a mentor of mine and a great friend. We still talk a lot. And, to me, we just had another opponent. I didn't care who it was, but we know each other so well and have worked together so long that, I mean, it's funny. Either of us would call a play or make an adjustment, and the other one knows exactly what it is because we've just been together for so long. And I've learned a lot from him, and hopefully, I was able to help him be successful. And so, no, there's nothing to that. Couldn't have more respect for him as a person and a coach. And, I want him to be successful every night except for when we play him. So it just the heat of the moment. I'm just trying to help our guys win a basketball game.
And well, it's all about whoever gets the win or loss at the end of the day. Whatever, no matter what happens, is what I always say to everyone. It matters if it's a W or an L right next to your name. Well, Coach, I thank you very much for joining us here on Sam Houston Sports Talk. Like I said before, I know season's about to get started. I know you're a very busy man, but me and Luke are very thankful that you took the time to join us.
Appreciate you guys. We love loyal fans and love what you guys do for Sam Houston and our team. So thank you guys.
No problem. Well,
Thank you, Coach.
yeah, that'll do it for us here on St. Louis Sports Talk, and we'll have a basketball preview coming out soon, and just keep an eye on that. But if you haven't already, be sure you like and subscribe today, and follow us on all of our social media outlets. And Coach Mudge even has an X out there somewhere, and he's apparently a very big Ted Lasso fan. So
Very big. It's my guy. Strive to be him every day.
yeah. Well, Coach, thank you once again, and as always, guys, eat 'em up, cats.